it seems to be getting worse in society, where we're hunkering down, and it's much easier to write a note or email somebody and automatically go on the attack, and
Yeah.
then it's escalated right up immediately.
Yeah.
So, and that's got to be difficult for you to intervene when it escalates that high.
We like to say that people don't get the message you send, they get the message they receive. You have no idea what state of mind that person is in when they read your message. Did they have a really bad day at work? Did they get a speeding ticket on the way home? Whatever it is, they're reading that message in the tone that they expect from you and the tone of the mood they're in that moment. So all the work you've done crafting your note and having your friend Diane read it before you send it and all those great things in the context you gave Diane, your neighbor doesn't get. So having that conversation with your neighbor instead of your friend Diane allows your neighbor to get that context and it humanizes you, right? We're human beings. We need that. We need the body language. We need the energy. We need that stuff.
Yes, I think that's so true. Are there a couple of tips that you might be able to share about, someone having an issue with their neighbor or someone else or a teacher or something of that nature? And, what are sort of the first couple of steps that you might want to recommend?
There are some amazing things that we can all do in our lives to help with conflict, but they can feel hard when we're feeling angry. So I recommend practicing them when we're not angry. The first one is to be curious. You don't have all the information, even if you think you do. So when you're asking to get more information from the other person, be legitimately curious. We all know what it feels like to talk to somebody who assumes they know what we're going to say. We don't give the same level of answers as we would of someone who's legitimately curious. So ask those questions. Ask non-judgmental, open-ended questions. People are so interesting. If we just take the time to understand their perspectives, their motivations, there's so much we can learn about each other. So be legitimately curious instead of immediately thinking, and here's another tip. People don't wake up in the morning going, for the most part, I'm going to screw with Diane today. We're all people. We're all trying to do our best. We're just trying to do the best we can. So assume that the person you're asking those questions of, same thing, that they're just doing their best and that they're not out to get you, because I guarantee you people aren't paying the attention to you that you think they are. So that curiosity and that, going into it, assuming that they're a good person who maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they were in a rush and they were thoughtless. You won't know unless you actually ask them. And my other big tip, aside from make that phone call, is pauses. And pauses can be really hard because everyone hates silence. And in this day and age, people just jump to fill it. But if you actually let someone pause and let that pause hang for a second, a couple of magical things can happen. Sometimes they'll fill in the pause and give you more information. And they'll give you better information because now they know you're actually listening to them instead of waiting for your turn to talk. So that's a great thing of pauses. The other great thing from a pause is that if someone says something ridiculous and you kind of let their pause hang, often what happens is they'll walk back their ridiculous statement, because when it hangs, they'll recognize it's ridiculous. And the number of times they walk back. So be curious, be an active listener, an active, curious listener, and respect pauses in conversation. It is okay for there to be silence, for someone to catch their breath. And another great tip is just take some deep breaths and actually take the heat out of your body, because even when you just think of something, you can get a little riled up and the other person can feel that. It's in your facial expressions, it's in your body language. So just take some breaths.